Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we check in with the Public Works Department. My guest today is Justin Clausen, Operations Manager with the City of Ames Public Works Department. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Susan.
Well, it's always great to have you because you always bring us lots of interesting information, particularly involving transportation. And we understand you have a really big project coming up.
We do. We have the 6th Street Bridge replacement. So that's going to be starting here on November 2nd. The bridge is going to be closed, the road is going to be closed, and the bridge itself is going to be removed and replaced with a new bridge.
Now, that's a Monday. What a good way to start your Monday and
Absolutely.
your morning commute. So this means if I drive 6th Street, say to campus or away from campus, I can't go my regular route.
No, you're going to have to watch for the detour signs. So what we're going to do is we're going to detour traffic if you're coming from downtown. So if you're westbound, you're going to go south on Hazel to Lincoln Way, then University and back up. So it's going to be kind of a U-shaped detour right there. It will take a little more time, so you have to plan your routes accordingly if you're going to or from campus or downtown, and just plan on that. But we will have routes to get people around.
So that's if I'm in my vehicle, but obviously we all know that's a very popular route for pedestrians and bikers. What will they be doing?
Absolutely. So what we've done is we have a detour that will go around the bridge. It'll go to the north of it. There's a pedestrian bridge that connects the tennis courts along Brookside Avenue with Brookside Park. So there's a pedestrian bridge there that they will cross over, and they will come into Brookside Park and then connect back up to the trails that way. So we'll have a marked detour for that as well. So the vehicles will go south and the pedestrians or bicycle traffic will go to the north.
So pedestrians and bicyclists will have a detour, although really not as large as the vehicles.
Yes, you're correct. They won't have to go nearly as far, which is good. We don't want to push them too far off their normal path the way it is. So we still want to continue to encourage people to use those paths, use that mode of transportation if that's what they choose. And we'll be maintaining that throughout the winter because we are going into the winter months. And so it'll still be a path and a way for them to get to where they're going.
Now the 6th Street Bridge is kind of iconic in Ames. It's been around for a while. It is a little narrow than some people are comfortable with, particularly if you're a biker or biking with small children. That can be a little tight going through there. Will the new bridge bring some improvements with it?
Absolutely. That was a key point to the design on this. We're going to be wider on the roadway portion of it, so we're not only going to have a regular 12-foot roadway lane, but we're also going to have a 5-foot on-street bicycle lane as well on there. So that'll be on the roadway portion of the bridge, but then also on the north side there will be what would be I'd call a standard 5-foot sidewalk. It'll have barrier rails and safety rails to separate you from the traffic. And also on the south side of the bridge there will be a 12-foot wide shared use path. So if you want to continue on the path, if you're riding your bike or walking on it, you can continue there. Or if you're on street coming from downtown into the bike lanes there, you can continue onto the bridge that way. So we've really taken into account the users of the bridge, the multimodal uses of it, so we can accommodate as many modes of transportation as possible.
Now, a lot of people, myself included, like to drive 6th Street because, well, frankly, it's very pretty as you drive into Brookside Park. Is this just going to be a standard bridge, or is it going to be a little fancier?
It's going to have a little bit of fanciness to it. So we brought some options to council a couple years ago about some things that we could do, and ultimately what we ended up with is we're going to have some ornamental handrail on it, so it's going to have a nicer finish that way. It's going to have a kind of a limestone pattern on some of the concrete rails that you'll see, and then we'll also take a colored stain to those as well, give it a kind of a limestone look. So we're trying to dress up that portion of it. And then also a big concern as well is being the fact that it's kind of a narrow wooded area, as you said, is lighting. So on the paths on the bridge, we're going to have LED trail lighting on that as well to help illuminate those paths and try to make it a little bit safer for people crossing it.
Well, a lot of people might know this bridge is not only have they driven across it, but there's actually a path that goes under it.
Yes, that's correct. And that's definitely of concern. So that path will be closed during the construction. As you can imagine, we're going to have cranes and concrete trucks and all sorts of stuff overhead there working. So we are going to close the path that's underneath it. So that path doesn't go too far. It goes from the skate park into Brookside Park. And we're going to maintain traffic vehicular traffic and pedestrian traffic into Brookside Park the entire time. So people will still be able to enjoy the park. They just won't be able to get across the bridge, and they'll probably have some construction disturbance while it's going on.
So if you're still going to have access to the skate park during the process.
Correct.
And then you could catch the rest of that bike path if you wanted to continue to ride it south to Stuart Smith or whatever you like to do.
Yes, yes, and that path actually goes back to the west, and then you can connect into Stuart Smith and continue down to the other shared use paths throughout the city.
So if you're a biker or pedestrian, your access routes, with the exception of going under the bridge, are pretty much kept.
Yes, exactly, and then with the detour going to the north, so everything else should be the same for them. Hopefully that we can continue, those modes of transportation during the construction as well.
Now, for a lot of people, Brookside Park is a place they like to recreate, to picnic, to go to the playgrounds. As we get into the spring, it's a big place for baseball and softball.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we're cognizant of that. We're going to try to keep as much construction, I want to say, lay down area and equipment and everything away from the park as possible. We don't see a huge need for being in that area, so it should be open to park users the whole time. There will be a time when we reconstruct the entrance to Brookside Park that we will have to do some narrow one lane in and out, but that'll be just a minor inconvenience throughout the whole thing with the scope of the project and how long it should last.
But you don't anticipate closing access to Brookside during any of this?
No, we don't. We will always keep access to Brookside. If we have to, we can use a temporary access if necessary.
So this is a really big project. It came with a pretty big price tag, but we got a little help from the state on this project.
That's right. This project, we were awarded a city bridge grant, so we have $1 million of worth of of state funds that we utilize to construct this bridge, and then we also have our other capital improvement funds that we're using to construct the other portion of the bridge.
So if people want updates, are you going to continue to put updates about the bridge on the construction updates page?
Absolutely. We'll continue to keep that updated throughout the winter. We hope to have a strong presence on social media with some pictures. This is not the kind of work that happens on a regular basis in Ames, so we really want to promote that. We really want to give people an opportunity to see what bridge construction really entails and how this will work throughout the winter months and into the spring and summer as we complete the project.
So very exciting, starting very soon. People will obviously notice the difference right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Justin, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
If you want to know more information about the updates on the 6th Street Bridge, make sure to check our website at cityofames.org. Go right to construction updates, where you can find out the latest on the 6th Street Bridge and other construction projects happening in Ames. Also, if you want to keep up to date and make sure that the emergency officials can contact you in an emergency, remember to sign up for Story County, Iowa alerts. It's off the front page of our website at cityofames.org. Look for the emergency alerts button on the lower right-hand side of the page. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.